Hey guys, Loud Guys! Today we are going to watch 5 reasons not to mess with the USA. So USA is, we know that is the mother of all countries. You know, it is
Yeah.
like so
I
powerful.
think it should be like father of all the countries.
Yeah, you can say like India, we know we all say mother, that is why.
India is the mother and
Yeah,
the father.
and like USA is the father.
Yeah.
But we saw that okay, like even USA has a lot of problems. When in Afghanistan it was not able to win against the Taliban, and they were able to succeed, kind of, you can say, because in the end they won. But even in Vietnam, USA had problems. But we know that USA is that powerful. But what are the major 5 reasons that we should not mess with USA? And also we saw in India, Pakistan, how USA played a very important role in stopping the war.
Yeah, it was like the major contribution, and we have seen the ongoing competition between China and USA. And whenever I think about USA, it comes like all the big weapons and
Yeah.
the careers and everything. I feel like we have a major support of USA.
And all, no, not, I think so, the USA is still on the balance side of both the countries now, and we see all the wars, and all the wars USA has been playing a role. Even in Russia, Ukraine,
Yeah.
USA is on the side of Ukraine. Then Israel and Palestine, then USA is on the side of Israel. So USA is choosing sides, and like with India and Pakistan, it was like okay, like stop the war, like don't continue
Let's
it.
compromise.
Yeah, so now we will see 5 reasons why we should not mess with USA. So let's watch this.
Video.
The collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 90s left the United States as the sole superpower in the world, and it's never looked back. In all aspects of the world, the United States is indeed a superpower, especially when it comes to its military might, which is unsurpassable in its strength, technological superiority, operational capabilities, and power projection across the globe. In this video, we'll take a look at the 5 top reasons why you wouldn't want to go against the US military establishment. The United
intro is very
States Air
safe.
Force is the strongest in the world, not only in the number of operational aircraft, but also in technological superiority. The country currently operates a total of over 15,000 military aircraft, combining all the branches of the military service, including the US Navy, US Army, Coast Guard, and the US Marines.
And you know how I can say that their air power is interesting is because like Pakistan has F-16s, and that are very very old planes for USA.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
compare
USA
to
has I
that.
think so F-20, 30, I don't know. They are going to new series, but USA is not even using their F-16s anymore. I think so very less. But for Pakistan, it is one of their prime jets. So it just
Yeah.
shows like the old ones for USA are new ones
It's a
for other
bigger
countries.
ones, yeah.
So that is what their power is.
As of 2017, the US Air Force alone has a fleet of over 5,300 aircraft, 406 intercontinental ballistic
5,000
missiles,
aircrafts.
and 170 military satellites, greater than any other country in the world. The USA has the largest number of stealth aircraft designed to be silent killers and untrackable by the radar defense systems of most
futuristic.
countries in the world. Some of these stealth aircraft include air superiority fighters, such as the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter,
See,
heavy
F-35.
bombers such as the B-2 Spirit. In fact, the United States pioneered this technology in the 1980s with the introduction of the F-117 Nighthawk stealth attack
1980s.
aircraft. Stealth aircraft are designed to avoid detection using a variety of technologies that reduce radar reflection from ground, sea, or air-based radar antennas, thereby reducing its radar cross-section, or RCS. This revolutionary technology allows a 5th-generation aircraft, such as the F-22 Raptor, with a max takeoff weight of 83,500 pounds, to have a radar cross-section of just 0.0001
My
meters
God.
squared, about the size of a bumblebee.
How can radar
What's
catch it?
insane is that the massive B-2 bomber
This is so
also has the
sleek.
same
Yeah.
radar cross-section as the F-22
Where is the
Raptor.
pilot?
Thus, it becomes extremely difficult to track stealth aircraft. Even if the enemy spots them on their radar scopes, it's a whole other story to successfully track them and register a missile kill.
Yeah.
The whole idea behind this technology is to break the chain in which a conventional surface-to-air missile defense system works. It's the same reason countries like China and Russia are also hard at developing their own stealth fighter, the Chengdu
China
J-20
can do it.
and the Sukhoi Su-57, respectively. These aircraft will allow the US Air Force to assert its air superiority over any battlefield of the future. And we all know that control of these skies is the biggest decider in any war.
100%.
The next reason why any country going to war with the US military should think twice is because of the strength of the US Navy and its dominance
Navy.
over the world's ocean. especially the Navy's supercarriers.
Wow.
The US Navy currently operates 11
can't
nuclear-powered
fight them from
Nimitz-class
anywhere.
supercarriers, which is the largest
They're all
aircraft carrier
fast.
fleet in the world. The only navy that can come close in terms of technological advancement
Russia?
is probably the Royal Navy of the United Kingdom,
UK.
but they only have 2 operational carriers. The Nimitz class of carriers has a displacement of over 100,000 tons and can carry a complement of up to 70 aircraft. They're literally a floating small town in the ocean
Actually,
with its
70
own
aircraft.
airport.
Capacity.
The
Some
Nimitz
countries do
class
not have
carriers
that
in
in total.
themselves are extremely potent offensive weapons, but the way they operate in what is called the carrier strike groups makes these ships even more deadly. A carrier seldom
Very
deploys
scary.
alone.
Yes.
There are always a fleet of surface and underwater assets surrounding them and forming a strike group. These include guided missile cruisers, a destroyer
Wow.
squadron, attack submarines, and other support vessels. Together, they project the power of the carrier, and at the center of the
You know,
group,
as an Indian, we have one, that aircraft carrier. And we feel so proud, of it. We feel
yeah.
like, wow, we have that one. But as an American, you have 11.
That is like a huge number of it, like huge.
Like suddenly my proud changes into fear. Like, okay, I'm very proud, but suddenly we don't want to fight USA ever.
But we are glad that we have good friendship with USA.
Yes.
forward towards the enemy. While the carrier is carrying out its offensive role with the use of its air wing, the other ships are responsible to protect its flanks against any enemy attack. This combination of offensive and defensive strategy makes the US carrier strike group almost impenetrable. The United States Navy maintains 9 such carrier strike groups, 8 of which are based in the United States and 1 that's forward deployed to Japan. For over 50 years, this has been the principal element of US power protection, and the Nimitz class of supercarriers are at the center of it all. Despite this, the US is currently in the process of developing a new class of carriers called the Gerald R. Ford class, intended to replace the Nimitz class ships.
Even better.
This new supercarrier will be even more technologically advanced
my God.
and is expected to continue US dominance of the oceans well into the late 21st century.
2100!
The third reason why you shouldn't fight the US military is their massive stockpile of nuclear and conventional intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs. The ICBM plays the role of the land leg in the US nuclear triad, along with the Trident submarine-launched ballistic missile SLBM and nuclear warheads carried on long-range strategic bombers. ICBMs are launched from ground-based missile silos, achieving high suborbital spaceflight, approximately 1,000 miles above the surface of the Earth. The body of the missile then separates from the warhead, which re-enters the atmosphere and free falls to the assigned target at hypersonic speeds.
It
The
looks
US
so
military
amazing, but
currently
it is
operates
dangerous.
400 ICBMs from its base in Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. The LGM-30G Minuteman III is the only type of ICBM that is currently operational in the US. The Minuteman III family of ICBMs were first developed in the 1960s as a response to the Soviet nuclear threat. Throughout the Cold War and beyond, these missiles have undergone constant modernization. In the last decade alone, the US military has undertaken $7 billion worth of upgrades. The rocket propulsion
Billion
engines, the
dollars.
propellants used,
On
the guidance
missiles
system,
only.
and even the flight control surfaces have all been refurbished. The upgraded missiles are completely different from its
Minuteman
1960s
III.
counterparts, except for the shell. These state-of-the-art improvements and modernization programs have kept the Minuteman III system operational for over 50 years with improved reliability that supports the missile's remarkable 99% alert rate. The latest versions of the missiles have a range of over 8,000 miles, which is greater than the diameter of the Earth at 7,917.5
So it can
miles.
go anywhere.
They can carry multiple 330 kiloton nuclear warheads, which is 20
Please
times
never
greater
use it.
than the bombs dropped on
Please.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Not only that, each of
Actually.
these warheads can be assigned to different targets independently. The technology is called Multiple Independently Targetable Re-Entry Vehicle, or MIRV, and was first developed for the Minuteman III family of missiles. So any country messing with the United States will have to
Never.
deal with this awesome arsenal of firepower, which can be launched at a moment's notice.
Only
If it
China and
weren't the
Russia.
ICBMs or the stealth fighters raining fire down on you, it would be precision-guided munitions, or better known as smart bombs or PGMs instead. This is another big reason why not messing with the US military is a good idea. All branches of the US military use smart bombs in some forms or the other. These weapon systems are designed to be precise and hit a specific target with maximum efficiency. These bombs are so effective that during the first Gulf War, PGMs comprised only 9% of weapons fired, but accounted for 75% of all successful hits.
Wow.
Since then, for the US military at least, the days of normal artillery shells and unguided bombs are long gone. Nowadays, the military uses PGMs from air, ground, and sea.
So all the bombs are smart.
Precision-guided munitions come in various forms and use different kinds of technologies to achieve precise hits. A large majority of PGMs use the Global Positioning System, or GPS, of satellites to guide their trajectory to target. However, sometimes this becomes a problem, as GPS coverage is not always reliably available everywhere across the globe, or bad weather conditions can hinder operations. Thus, the Office of Naval Research, the Naval Surface Warfare Center, and the Army Research Laboratory have all coordinated to develop the first ever artillery-fired smart munition that will not use GPS
Then
guidance.
how will they go?
The project is known as Moving Target Artillery Round, or MTAR for short. The MTAR shell can be guided onto stationary as well as moving targets in both land and sea,
But
using
how?
a combination of guidance technology. The best part is that these shells can be fired from the existing M777A2
That is so
155mm towed howitzer and the M109A7 Paladin integrated management self-propelled 155mm artillery systems already in use by the US military.
Oh my god.
The shells will also feature an extended range of 40 to 60 miles using rocket boosters to propel them. Once finished, it will afford the US military another potent weapon system that outclasses others around
They are
the world.
technologically way
Lastly,
ahead.
the fifth and
Way
final
ahead
reason
of
why you
everyone.
shouldn't fight the US military is drones. We're all familiar with what an unmanned aerial vehicle or drone is and what it's supposed to do. But in recent years, the usability of UAVs are steadily increasing to encompass all spheres of military operations, and the US military is the pioneering spirit behind it. At first, used only for surveillance missions, drones were quickly weaponized after the 9/11 attacks and have been extensively used by the US military in the war against terror as an offensive weapon platform. It's forecasted that over the next decades, the US is in line to purchase over 1,000 combat drones of various
1,000
classifications.
Like for what?
Some of them, like the
Nobody
Lockheed
is
Martin
going to mess with you
RQ-170
guys.
Sentinel and the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray,
more than
are
a
already
drone.
in the final stages of development, and
like
once
a
finished,
UFO.
will
This is a
provide the US
plane.
military with state-of-the-art platforms capable of multi-role operations, ranging from attack missions to aerial refueling. Drone technology has reached such heights today that a single UAV can loiter miles above the surface of the Earth for hours, waiting for the target to show its head and sticking with impunity.
And no injury to
This
the army
capability
personnel.
will allow all the services under the US military to reduce its dependency on manned platforms, thereby reducing the risks during future combat operations. These 5 weapon systems make the US military extremely dangerous for any adversary looking to get into a conflict with them. In a conventional warfare setting, it's almost impossible to beat the US military machine. That's why modern enemies of the United States are employing more and more asymmetric warfare strategies against the mighty US military.
Guerrilla warfare.
Despite that, the US military juggernaut is hands down the most powerful military complex in the world today, and probably will be for decades to come.
So now I don't have any reason to support, my country's, purchase and everything, because I used to be very supportive of, like, we used to buy 20 drones, 30 drones, and I used to be very happy about it. But now seeing the numbers of USA, 1,000 drones, you always think that you need the help of USA to fight any country, because
Yeah.
the power it holds. And I think so one more reason you shouldn't mess with USA is the economic power also, because there are 6 proper reasons. Because we have seen that USA can just put sanctions on anybody, and then USA also can tell other countries to not work with you, and then it hinders the progress of the country.
Yeah, it holds the big power, and I feel that these kind of weapons are very scary. I mean, we we are always on the side of USA, but if there is war is going to happen between US and some other country, let's say China or something, I think it is going to be very dangerous, because the weapons are so scary, and they're so futuristic, because it doesn't believe, like, they have, like we have seen in the movies, the technological things and all.
Yeah,
Scary.
because fighting with USA is a crazy man's dream. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.